Hey all, and welcome back to the Planet Plipcam channel. Thank you so much for joining me if you're new. Today we're going to be taking a look at Northwoods Frontier, created by Crazy Gamer on the Xbox Frontier Workshop in Planet Coaster console. So on my pad of paper I have written down cohesion, a word that really does epitomise this park. Really inspired. I think it kind of has inspiration from Planet Bro Coaster on No Name Landia, or at least it has the cohesive areas between the coasters, which there are many, and I really think that it links all the areas well together. There's lots of little tricks in this parks for beginners and advanced players to take into your own parks, so definitely stick around for this video if you're wanting to improve as a Planet Coaster player. And also, there's some really smooth coasters in this park. We're going to be running around quickly because I know lots of people are in this video to see the coasters. We're going to be running around to see the Woody coaster straight away. We'll go around to the left hand side of the park and we'll jump on that coaster. But to start with, you can see in this park we've got a really well done car park. To the right hand side we have a nice water feature as well. I'll just open up the park description on the Frontier Workshop to read to you, and you can just see here a little bit more rock work or fence work could do a bit of you need a bit around there so people aren't walking into the lake. But here's the description. Well, this took a while, but here it is. Welcome to Northwoods Frontier. This park took around 3 months and a lot of work and detail. It was inspired by my time up in Wisconsin and the towns up there. It includes 4 coasters and a ton of flat rides. I hope you enjoy. I did when building. That person did when building. Please like, because I want it on the front page. So let's try and give it loads of likes. If you're on Xbox, I really appreciate that, because we need to knock some of those people on the Frontier Workshop who never ever move. It's a really flaw of the game, really, in the workshop. We need to get them off the front page for some more skilled builders on there. So you can see we've got a really nice plaza area, and you can see the custom builds already. Really nice textures all the way through, and it blends from area to area with the different coasters and themes. A big takeaway from this park that I can take into my own parks is the way that you've used glass and then wires to make these kind of pane windows. And you can see all the way around this really nice flat ride skin. Whilst not the most themed to any kind of theme that would excite children, it's really nice architecture all the way around. Very simple, wouldn't cost too much. The windows are a bit higher budget, but I'm really impressed by that building. To the right hand side you can see it seamlessly blend from the kind of wooden and glass building into this kind of western area. And here we are, we're on a shot tower just to take a look at this park, your first glimpse of the whole of the area and what we've got to explore today. So many amazing coasters, and I do hope that you enjoy this video and like it, which is right next to that subscribe button. If you'd join the channel today, that would be really appreciated. I'm really so grateful for all of my subscribers. So you head in this queue line for the Bronco Woody coaster, a nice queue line cover just there. And also you'll have some good noise from the wooden coaster as well. I went on Wickerman recently, and the thing that I took away from that is noise. In Planco, the noise, really, turn the volume up. I always play in silence, or I put a podcast or whatever on when I'm playing Planco. Really consider the noise of where your queue line is, and Wickerman really does well with that. So here we are onto the wooden coaster. You can see the results just here. 77 seconds in duration, and the G-forces are pretty spot on, I think. Very well done. I'm not a coaster expert, but we're going to go on here. It's lift till time. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And we're going to go on this coaster right now. I'm going to talk to you through the coasters today, because they really do deserve to be credited all the way along. As you'll see a bit later, that berm just all the way around there, that turnaround section is actually custom supported. But these S-bends around here, these are my favourite elements. You have some noise tunnels, some head choppers all the way around the coaster, and I think it's really nicely smoothed all the way around. It's sometimes nice to get some kind of janky and jolty moments in the coasters, but you've done really well around here to pace that coaster definitely through those S-bends, and we'll have a look from the overhead view a little bit later. But as you head into the block section, again, realistic. So yeah, really impressive. And you've also got a transfer track just at the start, which is perfectly done as well. So here's a look at these custom supports. You can see these wooden beams just been used to make these almost like shells, sweeping curves all the way around. I think I saw Silverette do lots of these before. Another amazing PC Planet Coaster creator. But you can see the transfer track as we zoom in just here. or we'll just have a look at these S-bends around here, and look at that, it flows around the layout so nicely. And you know, there's too many things to mention today about this coaster. I'm sure you really did enjoy that ride. In terms of the foliage around the outside of the ride, I have seen some spots of blue. I'm not too keen on those bright spots of blue. I'm not too sure how realistic they would be in this kind of area, especially where it's so dark with the tree coverage, but that's just something to take a look at maybe. We've got the transfer track here with the wooden coaster pieces put in here. They've obviously done really well to get these pieces so they're alongside the track and they'll be slid out. I didn't have a chance to just have a look if they had a way to slide out, but I'm sure they did. We've got some fencing around here, really enclosed under the ride. I really like that when I went on Wicker Man, how you could go under the chain, the chain that takes you up to the top of the lift hill and out through this building, which doesn't need to be themed. It's really nicely done. It's fine how they walk through there, and you can see that there. I think Mass Bandit on Planet Road Coaster got angry once that these new roof pieces or whatever they weren't connecting, and that caused havoc on their video on Planet Road Coaster. So the reason that I'm just running across to this flat ride right now is that there is no noticeable don't die fencing or fencing at all. Of note, you can see you got a couple rocks, but you really would need some fences around there. I think this park is on 60%, so certainly even if you were on you might have been on last gen, so maybe you did run out of counter, but you think it would be at 66% if you did run out at your 100%, but next gen 66% you would think. But it's really good what you've managed to do in this park, and we head around this area again. It seems really seamless because you really focus on different areas of the park. Just there, your eyes are attracted to the water, and next thing you know, you're in a different area. There's a zoom in onto the wires and how they've done the glasswork just around there. Really impressive. I'm really going to be building that in Plipcam Studios, I think. And you can look at the water there. Nicely trimmed off as well, how the path will never go to the edge of where the water level will be, but you've put some wooden planks all the way around. So we've just got a staff only room just here, break room to the round to the side here, and then the plaza kind of main street. You've got two options really. You can go left or right, and they'll take you to completely different areas of the park, equally different and beautiful. And you can see that architecture, not many people overlap pieces that shouldn't be overlapping, but perfectly done there. Moving on to the next coaster then, I'm trying to find the entranceway here, as of course I record these videos before I actually do the audio, so I get a good idea of what the park's like, so I can form a good opinion for the voiceover. But you can see I'm trying to run around to the left hand side to find the queue line for this one. This must be the exit way on the left hand side. We've got some nicely placed benches and variations of fences as well. However, I would say that maybe some taller fences around that last section of the ride would be a bit safer. So we'll head around this almost cattle pen queue line, but it's not really, in terms of it has some nice curves, almost like a Nerd Chacho kind of. He just puts loads of plates down the roof pieces, nicely done. How it intertwines with each other a little bit, but then you don't feel like you're looking at people too much, because that's always awkward when you're in a queue line. So moving on now to this, you can see the test ratings are quite nice as well. I do like that you've got this pre-drop kind of section before you head into the chain link lift hill. And you go down the first drop. I would say that sometimes you get very close to the trees in this ride, but of course we are spinning round, so it's always difficult to make it realistic when you're building in Planco, because it's always irregular, the spins. Sometimes they're programmed in, but it's certainly different depending on what seat you're in. There's plenty block sections all around, very correct at how it would be in real life. And you can also see that we have custom supports on this coaster also. Really impressive. I do love people doing custom supports, especially on the console when we don't have the biggest percentage, but a really nice layout, very compact, not too many big drops, but I think definitely lots of people would enjoy that one. Wouldn't be too scary either, so it's certainly maybe a family coaster. I do like this kind of coasters, especially Spinball Whizzer at Alton Towers. I really enjoyed that, got on that a couple of times when I went over to Alton Towers. So you can see this is the pathway here. I just wanted to give you a bit of a relation, a flyover of where we are, but you can see some gravestones here, and we're going to be heading on to this coaster. A brilliant backdrop for this spooky kind of foliage and theming that we've got around here, and we'll try and find the entranceway for that now. You can see around here, I did actually go the wrong way to the exit way, but you can see the drop there. We'll watch it drop down into the first inversion. Some of these coasters, like the one at Alton Towers, Oblivion, that doesn't have an inversion, but certainly I think in America coasters like this do have lots of inversion, well, the one inversion, and go around a sweeping turn and into a block break. So you can see the exit way just here. It does need lots more fencing around the side. You wouldn't want to be dropping down this drop into all of those rocks. There's certainly something to look at there. But you can see the interior of the station does need a bit of more blocking out at the actual roof, because you can see the different roof angle pieces. But the station itself is actually themed to more of a kind of what's it called? A windmill. That's what it's called. The big windmill pieces. They're always too big for what you ever want to build in game. But the scale of this station is very good. I would say that it is a bit taller. You do have to go up steps either way you go, the exit way or the entrance way, which definitely for disabled access or people who can't walk up flights of stairs, you do need to take a look at that. Maybe the exit way, that's always a nice cheat way around it to make it just a slope, so people can join on from that side. But here we go on this coaster. I would never ride a ride like this. I had the chance to go on Oblivion, turn that down. I would never go on a dive coaster like this. This looks so scary. But here we are, face forwards, and you drop down, and you have a nice inversion, a bit of air time before heading into like a wind tunnel. And it does seem a bit kind of jolty around there, but I don't think it does it justice. So we're going to go now into a cinematic version of the ride to have a look at the cinematics here, and hopefully it will show you just how smooth it is. It's really well done, I think, and the pieces that's been used aren't the shortest. It's certainly not the 4-meter method, but it's definitely been given a good go to get this as smooth as possible. You get some brilliant airtime around there. In the wind tunnel, it does look like you might actually hit your head if you're on the left-hand side, which we were when we were riding that POV earlier. But I always like to ride it on the left or right when I ride these coasters in Planet Coaster, because it does highlight maybe some mistakes of the builder. We have a transfer track, certainly. You know, they love doing their transfer tracks, and that's brilliant. It's lovely to see the realism, but you can see there that wall did seem a little bit close to where the guests would be going. Another thing that I do like around here is that at these, it seems, trim breaks, you have these chain link fences. One of my favourite pieces in game, the don't die fences. Really essential to put over places where either people are walking or on braking sections, everything like that, in case anything comes loose and is going to be falling to the ground. And you can see diving through that pit just there. Really nice how you've got all of the different effects and smoke. So heading around from the exit way, we've walked around there, and we're just going to have a look round to the right hand side where the train station is. So you can see an ice cover as well inside there. A few more beams needed in the on the underside of the roof, but you can see you can walk over the train track. Maybe take a look on the Nerdchacho channel. He has a tutorial of how to sink your train tracks down into the floor. Really good video. Watch that after this one, maybe. Really good video to have a look at how you're going to get the train track into the floor, so it's much more realistic, and you'd have guests walking over and not tripping over and all that kind of stuff. No clipping needed at all. So then you've got some benches around here, really good views of the railway. I do like how you could just walk around where the railway is. You wouldn't actually need too much fencing, I don't think, because I think the people on the train track would tell you off quite a bit there, and there's not too much appeal of going around there unless you're going to run to the coaster, which I do hope. I don't look at it today, but I do hope there is some don't die fencing around there, because you always need to think, can they get there anywhere to the bits which might kill you really with the coaster around. You had some lockers just around there, and really nice kind of Bavarian almost style. We're going to open this Venetian Carousel because that's very sad and closed, so people can join that. They're very happy, look, all the guests. There's a new ride in the park. But to the right hand side you've got this shack made out of wood, really well themed. So this looks to be the Outback coaster, and it certainly does go into the Outback and through all the foliage. I think this one is the best foliage kind of coaster. I think the Woody coaster is the best out of the whole park, but in terms of like not too much theming, this is done really well. Hopefully we'll take a look at the results here. Thank you planet Plipcam. You've just moved across there, which is brilliant. 5.71 G-force, getting a little bit high, but I think for these kind of coasters, it might be okay in planet coasters. No one really cares about the results anyway. Quite a long track length style for this one, but I do like how you dive into almost a trough. There might need a couple of drains for drainage in the Ghostbusters pack. If you have that pack, there's some good pieces for that. A nice turnaround section, a very fast coaster this one. I think I would go on this one, quite a scary one, but I think I would manage just into a bit of a break, and then look to the right hand side. If you can see big water effects, which you don't actually see on the front row on the track view, but we will go and have a look at that later as we go on an overview and an overall kind of view of this coaster. But you head into the block breaks, head around to the right, and of course into the station. Really well done. If you can see on the floor just now, you've got some more realistic terrain work. So you've got the paints that are more gravelly and worn out for where you're going to have all of the supports working around there, which look really good. And you can see all the airtime hills, almost parabolic kind of hills and whatever they call them with coasters. I'm not going to be an engineer of coasters when I'm older, but you can see there's really sweeping turns. It looks so much fun, really fast and intense, but you can see the train track going along the side as well. Really realistic. I would say that maybe you do need some fences around there, and also those bright blue turquoise bushes. I'm not a big fan of those. There you are, the water as they go around there. A really brilliant kind of sight line that you could see from the rest of the park. Really impressive around there. And then of course we have a transfer track just to the left hand side of where you finish the ride, and you have really well themed again with don't die fencing and the safety barriers, and where you don't want to trip over non-slip. You've got some waterworks for the waterfall in the main plaza, and altogether a really well put together backstage area with cabins and cars setting on fire and all things like that. So a very impressive area of the park. And that does bring us to the end of taking a look at the whole of the park. We'll just take a quick overview, and we'll head into a sunset as we end the day in this Northwoods Frontier land by Crazy Gamer. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, I really appreciate you smashing that like button, and also subscribing to the Planet Plipcam channel really helps me out, and I'm really loving growing this community over here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe watch one of these videos that will come up on the card very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.